Welcome to Cooking with Abba. Today we're going to make one of my very favorite meals to have. Yes, and I love this because it is just balanced. There's good amount of protein, good amount of carbohydrate, good amount of vegetables, super easy, super sweet, super crunchy, good textures. And all you need for this is your potatoes. Yes. So to begin off, I'm going to wash my potatoes, which is already peeled. You can use not peeled, but you just want to cook this up first. And I'm cooking this together with some eggs. Yes, yes. So I'm going in with my eggs and my potatoes, and I'm going to cook this with a bit of salt. Yes. So the whole idea is to get something which is easy to eat. You can eat it as a salad, you can eat it as a main, and if you're checking your weight or you're managing your weight, when I say checking your weight, I don't really mean losing weight because you can use this to lose weight, you can use this to gain weight. It just depends on what you're actually doing. So once that is on fire cooking, I'm going to have some zucchini. You can use cucumber as well. I'm using onions. I'm using carrots. I'm using beetroot. Yes. You want to use varied vegetables that give you varied texture, varied colors, and varied flavors. That also helps you as well. So I want it to be crunchy, but I don't want it to be overly, sometimes carrots, beetroot, they're a bit larger vegetables. They are a bit more crunchy. So I just like to have them chopped a little bit, but not overly small. Like they should be well textured, yes. But it depends on you. But usually this usually works for me. If you're not a fan of these vegetables, you can actually substitute it with what you want. But like I said, you want to be intentional about texture, you want to be intentional about variety, you want to be intentional about the nutritional profiles in there as well. So my carrot is done. What I'm going to go next onto is my beetroot. I love beetroot a lot. And like I keep saying, carrots, beetroots are vegetables you should have in your meals every day in good amounts. Yes. Just like beetroot, if you overly eat it too, some people tend to have digestion issues when they overly eat. But carrot is always great in there as well. So I'm just going to cut these also into smaller chunks. Yes. Sometimes beets can be overly like coloring. So if you don't want to, or if you want to slow down the coloring of it, what you can also do is do a hot water and just pass it over it. That is also going to slow it down for you. But I'm not going to do that. I just want everything fresh and crunchy in there as well. So I'm just cutting it the same sizes like I did with the carrots because, like I said, these two root vegetables are more solid. The onion, yes, it was growing, and I love that part of onion. It gives you a very nice, zesty flavor, and it's like spring onion. So, yes, I just don't waste that. I cut that as well, and I'm dicing this in as well. And onion has its own flavor and taste and aroma and things it gives to your stuff, and not to forget the nutritional benefits as well. I just don't want to talk so much like but this can't be underrated. This is very good for you. Then the next thing I'm going to go in here with is some purple onions. Yes, they are all same onions. Any type of onion you want to use, whether you want to use red onions, any type of onions you want to use, you can actually let them go in there. And I'm going to use a zucchini. You can also use cucumber, but I was using zucchinis here because zucchinis have less water. Cucumber comes with a lot of water in the middle part, and so when you use cucumber, it can make it a bit runny or have water in there. But it depends on you. If you don't like zucchini, you can actually use cucumber in there, or you can even use squash or anything that you want to use to substitute in there as well. So this is good for me because don't forget that vegetables, aside giving you the vitamins and a bit of minerals in there, vegetables also have good like how do you call it, fiber, which is very good for your system as well. So this, and don't forget that sometimes people forget that vegetables have some amount of carbohydrates in there, just that they are not as high as the other kind of tubers and those ones. So this is actually like very healthy, and this is like a salad for yourself. But then we're going to make this like a whole meal in there. So I'm just pouring all the vegetables into my mixing bowls. And like I said, we're using textures, we're using crunch, we're using flavor profiles, or yes, in there as well. So you want to be very mindful of the vegetables you're actually mixing in there as well. Then once this is all mixed up, this is like a salad on its own already. But like I said, we need to make it balanced in there so that when you take this, there's a whole meal for you as well. So once this is done, what I'm going to do is to check on my potatoes. At this point, it was cooked, and then I'm just going to take it off the fire, drain the water, and then cool it down a little bit. So the whole idea about this is that you're doing potato salad. Yes. So once this is like, you can do it with a skin, like I said earlier, but just make sure that once it's done, let it cool down. Then you can actually cut it into sizable sizes. You can also decide to cut it before you boil. But the thing is, with this is not sweet potato, so this has less starch. And because it has less starch, sometimes when you cube it or you dice it before you actually cook it, it can get turn mashed. And the plan is not to do mashed potatoes. So you want to be careful with this. And that's why I actually let it cool down before. And this even works best when you have like maybe you cook potatoes, you ate, it didn't finish, you place some in the fridge, leftover potatoes. You can actually use those in as well. Those give you very good results in there as well. So yes, once I'm actually done with this, I'm actually going to cut my eggs as well. Yes, I like to have it mixed in there. Yes, yes. So that way, when you take it, it's like there's everything in as well. Like it is all well mixed in. So I'm pouring that also into the vegetable mix that we've already done, and that goes in as well. Then I'm just going to mix this all up together in. If you don't want to use fish, you can use, maybe if you have meat, chicken or something, you can have it in. But I'm using fish, yes, fish chunks in there with the oil base as well, because that is where the omega-3 and everything is in. So I'm just using that in. You can use sardines or anything you want to use. Just be careful of the type of fish because sardines can be a bit nauseating. And if you haven't such, you can use a bit of maybe habanero pepper chopped in or some chili flakes chopped in or something, just to give you that kind of use a nauseating effect of sardines if you are using that option. So I placed in some salad cream, salad dressing, let me put it like that. It's a traditional Finnish one, which I love using over here. So I just mix that in very reasonable quantities because sometimes people do salads and before they realize they've added too much fat, too much oils, unhealthy ones, and then you lose that nutritional thing you want. It becomes more junk than healthy. So once this is mixed up, this is actually good and we're good to go. Yes. If you don't want to use the salad dressing, it's actually optional. You can just even do with your olive oil, lemon, yes. And if you like spice, you can actually put in some black pepper or any spice in there to your taste and preference. Then I actually dish this out, and this is good. Like I put it in the fridge, then I can keep it. Usually consume within 2 or 3 days. Yes, I won't recommend you keep it for too long, but 2 or 3 days is good. If you're doing a meal prep for the week, 5 days I won't really recommend. 2 or 3 days I think is good for you. Then you can dish out some for yourself. And you realize this is like very, very nutritious. You've gotten eggs, you've gotten fish, you've gotten your carbohydrates, which is your potatoes, you've got your vegetables, a lot of them in there. And you can serve this with some fresh tomatoes if you'd want. If you don't, you can actually leave that out as well. So it's like, see you in the next food video. Do live life to the fullest, be joyous, be merry. Lots of love for my team and I. Mwah.